Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, this is Larry again. We can hear
Okay,
you now.
sorry about that. All right, well, hello everybody. This is Kevin Taylor again. Um, you might remember me from such roles as 3 hours ago. Um, Now I kind of know what it's like to be all those late night TV hosts who have to sit there and talk to a monitor and not have the response back from everybody. Um, right now is my favorite part and usually most stressful part of the conference is when we have our Ignite presentations. Um, if you're not familiar with Ignite, it's essentially a sort of very short TED talk. It's 20 slides that automatically forward every 15 seconds to make a 5-minute presentation. It can be basically over anything you want it to be. It's a lot of bands use it as an introduction to talk about just who their band is. A band may do something special, a special event or some sort of thing that they do that they think would want to share that would help other bands. And sometimes it's just certain people who have very specific groups of knowledge that help out that they have that can help out other people's bands. We've gotten a lot of really good information from um, from Ignite over the years, and we've got a lot of good stuff for you today as well. Um, the the first one we have actually, there's been a lot of bands this year who've had very significant anniversaries, and I know there's a lot of those events have been canceled, and so it's a little bit tough on all of those bands. One of those bands is the Incantata Band of Enchantment, who's turning 10 years old this year, and Gwen Marie Lurch put together the band put together a presentation talking about the band and who they are and what they stand for. So hit it.
Hello, LGBA. I'm sad that we couldn't be together physically in Portland, but I'm very happy that the organizers found a way for us to do this virtually.
Hello, LGBA.
This Ignite story is about the people of Incantata, the Band of Enchantment, which was born in 2010. As I like to say, the E in Incantata is for everybody, and I mean everybody. LGBTQIA and straight, pro musicians and relative novices, from New Mexico and beyond, from UNM faculty and students to the children of our talented musicians. It is truly the people that make Incantata what it is. I didn't know that many people in New Mexico in 2010, so our first couple of Pride parades were stacked with LGBA friends from Denver's Mile High Freedom Band and Phoenix's Desert Overture. Incantata is pretty family friendly. This shows our very first concert, which included a straight couple I knew from the university and their 2 talented kids, and a lesbian couple and their 3 of their kids. The 10-year-old didn't even know how to read music yet, so Kathy had to tell him when to hit the bass drum.
I joined Incantata because Gwen heard I was a comeback player after being off from my instrument for 20 years. So glad she did. I got to have fun and make music at the same time. Thank you, Gwen.
Our Denver band friends have been dedicated partners from the beginning. They've come many times to march with us and to play in our concerts, and Derek's been a guest conductor. I am so grateful for their friendship and their support as Incantata has grown.
Besides being excellent musicians, Incantata members are a wonderful bunch of volunteers. Sure, I'll bring food for the reception. Sure, I'll help clean up. Sure, I'll store the timpani in my garage. Incantata members rock.
A few Incantata members have been mainstays of the band for years. Others have come and gone, but what they all share is a love of music and community. Like Tom, the clarinet player from the Phoenix band, who moved to Albuquerque and played with us for a few years, and then moved on to China to teach. And the bassoon player, who joined the band with her husband, became a lesbian, left her husband, but then still left the band. So when someone leaves, there are always new members joining with new energy, talents, and skills to lend to the band. Cami and Carla, here on the left, moved to New Mexico, met Kathy the first week to pick up band music, came to a rehearsal, and soon after showed up to help us assemble pep band books. And then there's Tina, who joined just last year and before long was leading our setup and cleanup crews.
I joined Incantata about a year ago, and the thing that is so amazing about this band is the people. They are so friendly and talented and helpful and just all around amazing. They just make it so enjoyable to be part of this band.
I am not above making a total stranger my best friend when I'm recruiting for the band. If you play an instrument, I'll hand you a lollipop at our Pride booth and try to convince you to join my band. And if you don't play, there's a concert schedule attached to that lollipop, so you can bring your people to hear our music.
Hi, I'm Carla. I'm a drummer in Cantata band in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I enjoy being part of the band because I enjoy making music, I enjoy meeting new people, and I very much enjoy the opportunity to be part of the Pride events in our communities.
It's true, and Cantata has become the go-to band for Pride, but also all community events. We perform in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and Taos on a regular basis. And when tiny Las Vegas, New Mexico hosted its first ever Pride event, and Cantata went and marched in that inaugural parade. We got to play a pep set for Pride Day at the Albuquerque Isotopes baseball game, and then we led the on-field parade with Orbit, the team's mascot. The fans loved it, and we had a pretty good time too. And I think Orbit is flirting with Kathy in this photo. We are not inhibited or self-conscious. Cantata members dress up in creative costumes for both our Halloween and Holiday Lights concerts. We cover ourselves, our instruments, a float, and a tow vehicle with thousands of lights and ride in the historic Twinkle Light Parade.
I think the thing I like best about Encantada is the people. They're so friendly and so welcoming, and it just really make you feel like you're a part of the band.
When I started in Cantata, I expected a replay of my experience from Band Together in St. Louis as a founding member of that band. It's turned out to be something completely distinct. And I've learned that different bands have different personalities. And Cantata's first 10 years have been filled with great music, generous volunteers, dedicated and talented musicians, and loads of wonderful memories. The band is so looking forward to when we can gather again and make music together. And we're looking forward to the next 10 years, playing in more concerts, more parades, more LGBA events, and making more wonderful friends. It is truly the people that make Encantada what we are.
For our next presentation, as many of our bands have been growing and attracting younger and younger people, we have to keep in mind that there's the older folks still out there and should make them feel welcome. To address that, longtime LGBA Blake Veld presents his Ignite presentation, Get Off My Lawn.
Hey everybody, and welcome. Today's presentation is on older members, or get off my lawn. Be nice to us old farts. You'll be one of us too. Or the care and feeding of soft foods to your elderly and older members. I'm Daddy Blake with the South Florida Pride Wind Ensemble. Why should we care about older members? How do we care? What can we do to make us a community of welcome? How do we keep things social? And how do we remember the past while still moving forward? These are the things I want to talk with you about today, and why they matter. First, we are a special group. Our abilities start to falter when we get older. Sometimes our minds start to drift. We can get creepy. We aren't woke enough for the younger people. We get lonely. We get sick and need some help. And sadly, we die. Why should we care about older members? Demographically, us okay boomers are one of the largest groups in our population. We are retired and have more time. We love the arts and have friends that do too. You all will be old someday too, along with us. Might as well get some practice. How do we care? How do we welcome the elderly into our bands? Do we do outreach to other seniors in the community? Are our rehearsals and concert venues safe and accessible? Do we include older members throughout all positions in our group? And do we facilitate the unique challenges that they have? Are we welcoming? Do we greet our older members specifically? Do we give out name tags so we don't embarrass ourselves? Are we patient? Do we provide accommodations when necessary? Are our rehearsal spaces supportive of aging members? Do we offer a variety of activities that they would like? We like to party. We don't always go to bed at 8 o'clock, but we would like to. There are other places to socialize than the local bar. Sometimes those are too loud, hard to park, or expensive. Ask us what we want to do. Invite us to host an event. Not the tales of yore again. We know that you get bored. We'd like to honor our past and learn for the future. It's not always been easy for us. It's not always been awful either. Make the time to sit down and listen to us. Also, we used to be a pro, or some of us not. Our talents and abilities fade. We need to recognize and help adapt to that. Different parts or instruments, different activities of support, coaching the older or returning players, managing those expectations. Where are we? Aging isn't easy. We have physical limitations. We aren't as limber as we were. We can't hear, not as sharp. And we have real fears about this pandemic that's going on. Create a safe space to age, be compassionate, institute a buddy system. We also know that we can be creepy old trolls. Articulate what the band expectations on sexual harassment are. Times are different. Be direct. No means no. Empower younger members to express their discomfort. Is it nap time? Older members were woke in their day. Be patient. There will be eye rolling from both sides. Manage intergenerational expectations. Don't just preach at us. Explain, advocate, recruit. You're likely to gain an ally. Meet us where we are. We're not all the same. We have different musical talent, time availability, money, physical abilities, life experiences, and we want different things out of a band. So meet us where we are. We want to contribute our time, our talent, and oftentimes our treasure. The abilities and resources dictate what percentage of each we will contribute. The same holds true for all members, young and old, and new and returning members. We get sick and scared. Getting older is scary. We are survivors. We need space to feel vulnerable, someone to listen to us, check up on absent members. Do we have emergency contact info handy for everybody? Do we encourage everyone to carry medical conditions in their things? Sometimes, sadly, it doesn't get better. We die. We are family to many of our older members. We need to find out what we can do to help in that time. And we also need to provide members with the ability to donate to our organizations. Get off our lawn. We can be grumpy. We know that. Dig deeper in a private setting. It may not be you at all. Some people are also just disagreeable, but you don't have to be old to be a jerk. Welcome the stranger, but by all means, don't be a doormat. And we are family. Loneliness and fear of being alone and old is tough. Isolation can have negative health consequences. Provide for a variety of social activities. A measure of success isn't always the number of people that attend. And finally, keep on keeping on. Recruit older members. Encourage us to participate in all parts of the organization. Recognize we have limitations and might need a little help. Please be patient. Recognize and appreciate their contributions. And finally, have fun. Make music. Be visible. And mostly, be proud. Thank you.
Next presentation will be by Eddie Young. He is another member with a long history with LGBA, and he's also a long time. He was also a longtime member of the Federation of Gay Gays and represented as well there. His Ignite presentation talks about the upcoming Gay Games and the relationship with LGBA.
Musicians have participated in every gay games since the first in 1982 in San Francisco. We will participate in our 11th gay games in Hong Kong in 2022. Please join us. I think we can all agree that now, if ever, is the time that the world needs more progressive change. And I believe that the gay games can help accomplish that change through diversity, respect, equality, solidarity, and sharing. This photo comes from the Annual General Assembly in Guadalajara last year. I believe that the Federation of Gay Games is successful because we never forget to put people first. And that's why everybody likes attending the gay games. And it's the same thing with the Lesbian Gay Band Association. We always seek input from the members to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to keep people interested. At the local level, we also put people first. In the photo on the left, a group of us got together and helped Indianapolis march in their very first Pride Parade. And on the right, that's the Atlanta Freedom Band's drum line drowning out the protesters during Gay Pride. In November 2022, just imagine performing with all of your friends in this beautiful open-air stadium in Hong Kong. Historically, each host city sets up a festival village, which showcases the cultural program of the Gay Games. In this shot, you can see the downtown skyline. What a beautiful backdrop to the cultural festival. Looking from the downtown skyline toward the harbor, this is an artist rendering showing what the festival village might look like. I'm anxious to see what it is in reality. There are 4 key components to the cultural program: band, chorus, visual arts, and the International Memorial Rainbow Run. But there are other components as well listed on the left. I'm so proud that the Gay Games always remembers those who have gone on before us. In Guadalajara, I was able to write this note to Connie, Debbie, and Lauren, letting them know that we love them and miss them on behalf of LGBA. On a happier note, some new programs in Hong Kong will feature Asian LGBTQ+ contemporary artists, as well as media showcase of immersive, interactive digital arts and design. In Paris in 2018, the orchestra, the concert band, and the festival chorus combined to premiere the music you're hearing in the background, Rise, a Gay Games anthem. As most of you know, the Lesbian and Gay Band Association supports team band at the Gay Games level. And we all know that the best way to have fun is through excellent programming. The Hong Kong Host Committee has set an ambitious attendance goal for all bands, not just those who are necessarily members of team band. That would be 150 participants. I think we can achieve that. Start saving now. How much money will you need? These are my personal estimates. From Atlanta, a flight in November of this year would range from $800 to $1,200. I don't know what it will be in 2 years. A 3 to 4 star hotel, $66 a night, $450 in spending. We all know that there's lots going on with our friends in Hong Kong these days. So I would ask that everyone stay positive, send good energy, be flexible, look for facts, not fiction, believe the people on the ground in Hong Kong. Thanks. On a personal note, I just want to thank Martha on the left. She's recently been diagnosed with cancer, and so everybody send her good energy, and Jerry on the right. They've been nature's helpers, and I really love them. And finally, registration opens in the second quarter of next year. Go to gghk2022.org, gaygameshongkong2022.org to register. We'll see you there.
I wasn't the one who closed that too early. Sorry. It was on the last slide. And our last presentation is by the New York's Big Apple Corps. While we were all having to shut down because of COVID-19, they've certainly come up with some ingenious and inventive ideas to keep everybody together and keep the groups engaged. So we're excited about the presentation is going to show you sort of the nuts and bolts about how that came together and why they're putting, and how it works. And then I hope you all stick around at the end when we'll actually participate in an online demonstration. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And here's the Big Apple Corps.
Hi, my name is Leslie Becker, and I'm with the Lesbian and Gay Big Apple Corps of New York City. And this is Band in a Box, the unexpected magic of virtual rehearsals. New York's Governor Cuomo put our city and state on pause on March 22nd. No more band. We needed to do something. We held movie nights and happy hours. We live streamed some of our past concerts and parades on Facebook. But was that enough to keep the membership engaged? In the early days of the pandemic, the band's leadership met nightly to discuss the events unfolding around us. We decided to be as normal as possible and hold our yearly kickoff party via Zoom. And when over 100 people joined the call, it was pretty clear. We had to figure out a way to have rehearsals. Marching director Marita Begley got her artistic team together and came up with a how the heck do we have a virtual rehearsal lesson plan that, while imperfect in so many ways, was so very perfect in other ways. Sheet music and sound files are made available digitally, and links to the Zoom room were sent out. And on Thursday, April 30th, 2020, the Big Apple Corps held our first ever virtual marching rehearsal. And it was kind of a train wreck. The "can you please mute" was constant. So was "you're on mute, we can't hear you." And then more madness. What are we playing? Should we tune? Is someone conducting? And Marita desperately trying to hear everyone. So, on the fly, during the rehearsal, she changed the format. Our Zoom pilot, Steve Lewis, quickly switched gears. He would play the sound files, complete with roll-offs, and we would all mute our mics but play along on our own. And it's true that many people in the band cried a little after that first song. We were together again. No, we couldn't hear each other, but we were making music, and that's all that matters. And Marita said we had a new trail to blaze, and boy, did we ever. We blazed trails all over New York City. Just ask everyone's neighbors. Before each song, the drum majors discussed things like dynamics and intonation. After we played, the captains would give their section notes in the chat. And somehow we made it work. We were together and we were working towards a performance goal. We were a band. So that's it in a nutshell, or a Zoom box. To recap, get a Zoom account that can go more than an hour and is big enough for everyone in the band. And get a Zoom pilot. Someone has to fly this mad machine. Get whoever in your band is good with editing to put a roll-off on the sound file of each song in your set. We also made slower rehearsal tempo sound files. Performance speed right out of the gate is hard. Make sheet music and those sound files available to the membership digitally. The LGBA typically makes up paper packets rather than digital access, but special times call for special measures. Hold rehearsals on your regular night and regular time. Most people are creatures of habit. I know where I will be every Monday or Thursday all year long. It's band, so hold yours on your band day. Have the director send a rehearsal plan out before each session. Zoom rehearsals, Zoom by, and having your music in order will make your experience a much better one. Make the chat fun, but clean. Well, cleanish. We have a great time in the chat in between songs while we're supposed to be listening to Marita or the drum majors. After all, we're usually standing in our parade block chatting about our day. We need that interaction. Do it in the chat. Hey, conductors and drum majors, don't conduct. Everyone's internet speed is different, and there's no way we could ever follow you. And don't sing, please don't sing, or call out measure numbers. Just stand there, conductors. You can do it. We know you can. Have the guard choreographer make a teaching video like this one so the guard members can learn on their own and they can join in the virtual rehearsals too. And at the first rehearsal, after you play the first song together, cry a little. So, why did we rehearse? Well, we saw that many bands and orchestras were doing virtual performances, and we decided to jump on that bandwagon too. Besides, we missed performing. We rehearsed Baba O'Reilly by The Who and Billie Eilish's Bad Guy over and over and over again. Just ask the neighbors, they'll tell you. Instructions for how to record ourselves playing and how to upload the files were sent out, and over 100 performers and crew took part. At what would have been the height of our Pride season, the Big Apple Corps Marching Band typically does about 12 parades and events between mid-May and July 4th. We were consistently getting 85 people at the virtual rehearsal. Our Pride video debuted on the Daily Beast on June 19th and was featured at the Heritage of Pride virtual march on Pride Day. And that's how you do a virtual rehearsal. Please feel free to reach out to the Big Apple Corps if you have any questions about this strange format for a strange time. It may seem like a pointless rehearsal, but it's actually very rewarding. For everyone but your neighbors.
We'll think about next year because we will be doing, hopefully we'll be doing Ignite again next year, hopefully in person, but, and we need to have your participation in order to keep it going and keep it alive. So think about possibly doing one for your band or some sort of event that you guys do regularly that would benefit everybody else. So think about it. If you want to contact me, I'll gladly talk about it now. Or if you have an idea now, you can let me know and I'll get back to you. You know, I'll make sure and remind you throughout the year so that we have it. We'll have a great participation next year as well. So that's the Ignite. Next, we have the announcement of this year's Pillars of Pride. And to do that will be Aaron Rambo.
Good afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed our 2020 2D Online LGBA conference today. My name is Aaron Rambo, and I serve on the LGBA Board of Directors. It's been my honor to coordinate the Lesbian and Gay Band Association Pillars of Pride program for 2020, and I'm very excited to announce the recipients of this year's awards. First awarded in 2013, the Pillars of Pride recognize extraordinary accomplishments by those actively supporting LGBA member and affiliate organizations, the community band movement, and the LGBTQ+ community. Member bands and individuals within member bands or affiliate members may nominate a candidate for the award by demonstrating how they exemplify the core qualities of the award: support, growth, musicianship, fellowship, dedication, and innovation. The recipients join a stunning list of Pillars of Pride heroes: Doug Litwin, Laura Whitbeck, Judy Ames, Lauren McGlade, Connie Hunt, Debbie Moore, Harvey Zuckman, Steve Messina, Tony Daniel, Aaron Frawley, Nancy Corporan, and Mary Barr. The first recipient of the 2020 Pillars of Pride Award was born and raised in the Boston, Massachusetts area. After working in the banking and finance industry, he took his life across the country to Phoenix, Arizona, where he became a personal trainer, yoga instructor, and participated with the Desert Overture Band, where he served on committees and played the clarinet. A move then took him to Portland, Oregon, where he began his time with the Rose City Pride Bands. There, he has grown the band's marching element exponentially, helped them to purchase their first set of percussion, headed up a complete rebranding effort, and led the organization passionately through the planning of the 2020 LGBA conference and the minimization of damage after its cancellation due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He has helped to form a coalition of Portland area performing arts organizations, worked as the volunteer coordinator for the Cascade AIDS Project, and has mentored students and performers from all walks of life, including a large population of LGBTQ+ youth who desperately needed someone to look up to. He has been described by his peers as dedicated, intense, encouraging, enthusiastic, impassioned, inclusive, and guiding. It is my honor to award this 2020 LGBA Pillars of Pride Award from the Rose City Pride Bands in Portland, Oregon, to Denny Richard. Our second and final recipient today began his journey with the South Florida Pride Wind Ensemble, then the Flamingo Freedom Band, in 2000. Almost immediately, he offered his services to their board of directors, first as secretary, then treasurer and president. He also served a total of 6 years on the LGBA board, with 3 years as LGBA president, and helped to coordinate 4 separate conferences in New Orleans, Orlando, and twice in Fort Lauderdale. Within the South Florida community, he has been an integral force in creating and cultivating the Youth Pride Band of South Florida, giving hundreds of high school students the opportunity to grow musically and personally and work with world-class conductors and composers. To date, the program has awarded $124,000 in college scholarships to the Youth Pride Band participants. Within LGBA, he helped to create this very program, the Pillars of Pride, as well as the LGBA President's Circle, which has raised over $30,000 for LGBA. Additionally, he has overseen the commission of several new pieces premiered at LGBA and South Florida Pride Wind Ensemble events by composers like Michael Barkowski, Robert Longfield, Randall Standridge, Julie Giroux, and Robert Sheldon. His energy given to his local community and the LGBA is an outstanding example of music, visibility, and pride. It is my honor to award this 2020 LGBA Pillars of Pride Award from the South Florida Pride Wind Ensemble to Adam DeRosa. Please join us in congratulating Denny Richard and Adam DeRosa and thank them for their service to our organizations and their communities. Thank you, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of this online conference. Stay safe.
Just to kind of recap a little of what we've done today, we've tried to basically bring everybody together when we can't be there in person, and this is why they shouldn't make me do these because I start to cry on things like this. But we wanted to basically provide a day of band and to give people, give you all something that can help you through not only through these times. We had some great presentations from Jay Dean about how to use music for meditation and how to bring that into helping you through these troubled times, as well as from Pete of putting how to get your band back together and what it's going to take, the hard work that it's going to take to bring us back together, but also looking forward to times to come, and we'll be back together and working together. We'll have things that we could be able to do as bands, like like Adam and Dan's presentation on what it takes to put together a youth band, and Nicole's presentation on how to put together a concert, and what it takes to do that in a meaningful sort of way, and also John's workshop on how to work together these bands, because we know all bands have different needs and different instrumentation and different skill levels, and how to pull that together to make the best out of your band. And of course, we had Taylor at the very beginning, who taught us what's most important is for us to all be our true selves and present that through our music. Also within LGBA, we had with ourselves, we had Rob, who talked to us about the things that are coming up. So hopefully, with possibility of another inaugural parade and the things that are coming to the future in the gay games. And we had David who unveiled our membership portal, which has been many years in the works. So we hope, and a big part of all of this today that made it so successful was you guys. We spent a lot of good questions and chat and bringing people together. So basically, it's there for you guys. And we hope you found it useful and enjoyable and fun. A couple of things. We do have our delegates meeting tomorrow, so that will be it's on the agenda too. So that'll be a Zoom meeting. The delegates will be there. We'll have lots of important business to take care of. We do have the Houston Pride Band has opened up the registration for next year's conference. And I will mention to you that I know that we're not really sure what's going to happen next year, but host bands do rely very much on these early registrations and everything to allow us to put down deposits and things like that. So if you think you want to go and you have the funds to do it right now, I encourage you to go ahead and register. And they will be non-refundable. So if something happens, you'll definitely get your money back. So I encourage you to go out to the website and register if you can. And then, of course, after we have some closing speech from Cliff, we'll have the Big Apple Corps' demonstration of their online rehearsal. So I hope you've all enjoyed it. We'll search for you. We'll send out a survey and get your feedback. And hopefully, if we ever have to do this again, which we hope we don't, we'll be able to do it even better. So thank you all, and on to Cliff.
Oh, I think we may have worked out our technical issue, I hope. I think the video is working. If someone can put in the chat if the audio is working.
Hey, Cliff, this is Larry. Yep, we can see and hear you now.
Oh, okay. Well, I get to say all this again. Yeah, the improvised part went so well. Now I have to remember what I said. Okay. So let me start over, and thank you all for your patience. So thanks everyone for joining us for TUTI, our 2020 LGBA conference. Bravi tutti to all our presenters who shared such great information and ideas today. I know we'll see some great things result from everything that was presented. Grazie tutti to our conference team who worked for over the past 4 months to bring all the elements of our weekend together. From finding the technology to searching for the presenters to conducting rehearsals, they've all given so much of their time and energy to make the event a success. And their job continues with tomorrow's Assembly of Delegates meeting. We've learned a lot about the mechanics of putting on virtual events that we can use in the future. We also made a couple of mistakes that we've learned from today as well, and we apologize for those, and we'll work on making sure those don't happen again. While we are waiting to see what the future holds for our art form, I wanted to mention that LGBA has signed on to 2 efforts that we hope will help in charting a course for its continuation. First, the LGBA board has signed on to the National Association for Music Education's Arts Education is Essential statement. The signatory groups advocate that the arts, all arts, including music, are important parts of education and are even more important now. Also, LGBA signed on to and contributed to the College Band Directors National Association COVID Aerosol Research Study. It's such a tragedy that the very air that we use to make our music is the medium that transmits the virus most efficiently. This scientific study, conducted by Dr. Shelley Miller at the University of Colorado Boulder, seeks to determine scientifically what our instruments and bodies do as we make music, to hopefully come up with guidance that choirs, bands, and orchestras can all use in restarting their programs. The study has already produced some preliminary results for a few different activities, and I've pasted links to both in the chat above, so you might just have to scroll up, and if you or your bands are interested in signing on to either or both, the links are right there. While TUTI describes our coming together this weekend, I think it also applies to what our bands do for our communities. The phrase that you hear so much right now, "we are all in this together," explains why our bands exist. In addition to the music, the visibility, the pride, the inclusion that we try to exhibit and demonstrate is a part of what we hope will improve society in general. Hopefully it will provide a model that other people can see in coming together. It certainly is a time that no one had thought about. This is the improvised part. A time that no one had planned for, but I appreciate all of the different ways that the bands in our association are improvising and adapting and being flexible in trying to connect their own communities and their audiences together. So I want you to keep sharing those ideas in the LGBA Facebook group, because we're all interested in hearing about what's working and what's not working, and how we could one band could repurpose another idea in a different place. So keep sharing that information as we all work through this time. So I personally cannot wait until I can hug every single one of you, and hope that our time in social distancing and isolation is short, and that we can all get back together as soon as possible. As the Queen said, we will meet again, and I do believe that, and I'm certainly looking forward to that day, as I know you are. So thank you all. It's been so nice seeing your faces. I'm hoping to see some more of you in the rehearsal that follows. So stay tuned for that. And at this point, I'll turn it back over to our conference organizers. And thank you, and see you all soon.